Hey everyone, welcome back to CryptoCache. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having a great day. Happy sale day, happy discount day. Everything is on extreme sale. Excellent time to consider adding to your spot bag here. But once again, we want to double check a few things maybe before having done that, because we need to know is if Bitcoin's actually at its bottom, right? Is Bitcoin bottomed out? Is it going to recover? Well, we can presume one thing for sure. 56,000, that extreme liquidation event, somewhere in the range of $8 to $10 billion liquidated yesterday. That level is new resistance. Okay, we can see that right there at that 0.236 fib level. So we're going to talk about that and a handful of other things, maybe take a macro perspective here today and kind of see what's going on. It doesn't look like we got that relief rally to that recent descending trend line. We can see the price action essentially rejected off this level here at about 58,500, continued lower. That was a tentative support level previously. Okay, so again, a lot of reasons why we just got to be kind of careful, pump the brakes to see what's going on. So let's quickly look at the liquidation levels here and see what's going on. So big picture, easy way to understand it here is that the market is completely flushed. Like we had the largest amount of liquidation. I just posted this here. Yesterday was the largest liquidation event since the FTX collapse. We had just as much liquidation as we did on FTX. That's crazy, right? There's no fundamental catalyst. It was freaking 4th of July. That's funny. It's funny to me because holidays always have a tendency of getting rocked. We did take some nice profits here from QNT. Unfortunately, we only caught one short there on the way down. I didn't want to try to catch a falling knife and trade that volatile market, but we got a good little trade in beforehand. Either way, that was a slight hedge to offset some of the other trades that didn't go so well. Having said all of that, what we want to look at here is the back-end data and just start with a 7-day here. So last 7 days, we can see some late longs right there at about 53, 52,000, right in that range there as a rough estimate. Okay, so keep in mind, that is a potential area of liquidation, but it's also not that big of a concern because, again, with us being at this range right now, we truly don't know what's going to happen. But we can tell that there's a decent amount of volume at the $54,000 mark. Okay, and again, we'll look at that here in a minute. I'll explain what I mean by that. But furthermore here, just to kind of clarify, this is that liquidation here. What is it, $8.82 billion at 55,700. So 55.7, I talked about this pretty much all week, that is a heavy concentration liquidation, and there's a great chance it's going to get hit, which it did. It went a little further than we wanted it to, but I'm actually okay with that because I had some nice limit orders at 54, 55, and 56,000 for my spot bag. Again, I'm just more of a Bitcoin holder in the long run, so I actually like these kind of price points. Having said all that, though, not much else to really note. We do have some liquidation here down as low as 49,000, upwards of 52K. These are pretty small levels considering the overall sense of where everything's at. But again, it's still there, it's still relevant, but these are more late longs here. We can see a lot of this is just entering the market here recently. And what these are, the reason why it's at 52,000, not 54, is because those are lower leverage long positions. Okay, so some of the high leverage longs probably learn their lesson with this consistent drop. All right, so either way you look at it, don't be a statistic. Make sure you use low leverage, low position size if possible. That's what we do. Again, we got that nice little 55% short on a 5x leverage trade, right? Again, don't get too crazy. You'll notice and thank yourself later for not getting fully liquidated. So we've got 3 red days followed by a 4th here. This is a pretty solid consideration for a reversal soon. When I say reversal, it doesn't mean the price just goes straight to the moon. I'm just mentioning this because what's likely happen is we're going to retest a recent low, which 58,500 is a potential likelihood there, but also 56,000. We're trending closer to 56,000, and there's this level here as well where the price wicked down at this 56,500. So it tells me that 56/56.5 is somewhat of a resistance range for us, and we're going to need some volume to get through that. I got a lot of volume here today, and in fact, the doji candle starting to form here is looking pretty decent, but there's no doubt about it. We're swinging down stochastically. We lost 30 on the RSI. Until the price comes back up over 30 on the RSI, it's not really a good consideration for any kind of position, specifically more so a long. Okay. Again, this basically just implies that shorts are in play, and you should not try to short against, try to take a long against the short market that we're in right now. Okay. Now that can be tentative. That definitely will be. We're not going to be moving down forever. But at this point, that's kind of what happened there. And again, a lot of it was just taking advantage of the traditional markets being closed on the holiday. That's why holidays have a tendency of selling off pretty aggressive. If we look back at majority of holidays, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and previous 4th of July's, majority of them are red. And the main reason is just because there's not a lot of buying pressure from the US and other countries take advantage of that. Having said that, we can see MACD is diverging and essentially just a situation here where there's no other way around it. It's a truly bearish situation. We're below everything, including the 200-day SMA. And keep in mind, excuse me, I'm so sorry to do that. If we take a look here, 58,500, that's right where the 200-day SMA is hanging out. So that's not really a good thing for us. In the overall sense, I mean, it's good depending on how you look at it. That really just implies it's going to be a resistance range for us, and we might be under the 200 for some time. Generally, when you lose the 200-day SMA, it's not a favorable sign. It tells us that we've broken bearish. So until we can get back up over the 200-day SMA and or this descending trend line with a 20-day, we're going to be in a kind of an unfortunate circumstance. Now, again, Bitcoin being Bitcoin, I wouldn't be surprised if a couple days later we're just see the price right back up over that, right? But we get so many false positives lately that I'm not very trusting of these little increases, right? So if the price does end up increasing here soon, keep in mind, there's always strings attached, okay? Either way, we want to be over the 200-day SMA, 58,500 or higher would be a good starting point. Secondary to that, getting up over this resistance range at 60 to 61K with this descending trend line is a secondary target, I guess you could say. Once we've done that, then I would say, yeah, we're probably back on track and we're mostly good to go. Until then, we short into these resistances. That's basically what it boils down to. So do you short 56,000? Potentially, yeah. I mean, at this point, we can see 56,000 holding as a resistance. For the moment, it's still too early to tell. That's exactly why I say to wait 24, 48 hours to my community before you take a trade, considering all the garbage and nonsense we just saw, okay? When you see a massive wipe of pretty much every single liquidation level on every single altcoin, then you probably want to step back and relax for a little bit. Sure, you can buy some of those dips and be okay, but that should be a spot bag situation, not a leverage situation, right? There's too much risk taking a trade right now until we have a defined range or some kind of defined direction. The direction is obviously down, and you could probably have more success shorting. But if you're considering a long at all, wait it out. It's not a bad idea to wait. We're below all moving averages. We're still at 30 on the RSI. We can see here that money flow index is increasing a little bit, but of course it's going to look like that because money came out so hard and so long in the last 3 or 4 trading days that it's inevitable for it to reverse. We can see stochastic is swinging up and MACD is converging here, or sorry, not converging, just losing its momentum, and on the horizon for a convergence in the next few days. Okay, that's a long shot. Really, if we go sideways, it'll converge. It's basically just what it boils down to compared to just because of how hard it came down. Last but not least is the hourly. We're obviously going to have some pretty telltale signs here that taking a long position is not a good idea. Again, at the very least, until we're above 56,000, we retest that as a support. My anticipation here is that the price action breaks 56K, and then we use that as a potential support level to shoot up to 58.5. Hypothetically, we short at 58.5 down to 56 and continue to rinse and repeat that situation, right? My speculation is once we break through 56K, we'll be range bound from 56 to 58.5, okay? Again, these are just general resistance and support ranges, and I know my chart's a little messy right now. I'm going to go ahead and clean that up and post that on our Twitter, Telegram, Discord, and or TikTok, but I can tell you, this is par for the course stuff here right now, okay? There's no reason to take a long position. We're not seeing any consideration there. Let's take a look at our TPO just to be safe here and verify that the average amount of volume for today is 54,500. We're at 55,400, so we are above that point of control, kind of letting us know that the bulls are controlling the price action here for this last little period, which is good. That's ultimately what we want. But that doesn't mean you just take a long with no regard whatsoever. So when I see something like that, and then I have this, and that's followed by all this crazy nonsense we just saw here, and we're at 64,000 on the 1st of July. We dropped 16% in 4 days. That's a pretty significant drop, and that's a heavy bleed out for a lot of altcoins. So me, when I see that, I just kind of pump the brakes, I relax. If we get a good solid closure today, closer to 56K, I might feel comfortable taking a long or two, but I really don't feel like it's a long market for the moment, and you're going to have better off, much better luck shorting. But again, the question is, what do you short? Because there's so many coins that are massively overextended. Why do you short the bottom? It's exactly why you wait. So again, I'm just kind of throwing it out there. Maybe attach yourself to the idea that maybe trading right now isn't a good idea. And that's okay. There's going to be plenty of time to trade, and the market is full of opportunities. So don't think you're missing out on too much right now. if you are going to do anything, I would say just add to some of your spot bags for the coins that are stronger. Solana and AVAX are two of those ones that bottomed out and bounced fairly strong here so far today. I'm going to analyze those here next, but just generally speaking, bird's eye view, I would consider spot over leverage today, just to be on the safe side. For now, that's kind of where we're at, and that's only if you get itchy trigger fingers. If you were if you were wise, you just kind of pump the brakes, relax, and wait a little bit longer. I think is a good idea. So those are my 2 cents. I know it sucks to watch and to learn this and be like, wow, I really didn't glean much of a direction from him, but that's okay. That's how it goes. That's how trading is. We really need to be able to confirm at least 56K or higher today or this weekend to have any kind of legs to stand on. And then secondary to that, just note 58.5 is a resistance level. So along from 56 to 58.5 might seem appropriate if we can break through that resistance. Between now and then, it's too early to tell. All right, folks, thanks again so much for watching. I hope you learned something again. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Deeply appreciate the like, the comment below if you get a chance, and I look forward to working with you in the future. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks again for your time. Take care.